I am very happy with you, my son. You make my life wonderful by being respectful to me, by being near me, by listening to me, by playing with me, by learning whatever little thing I can teach you. You are very respectful. May the Lord bless you all the days of your life, my son. I love you. This morning, you went to say goodbye to your mother as she went to work. You know some things that some people don't know, such as we never know if we're going to see somebody ever again. So be kind to them the last time you see them. Right? At the same time, don't go near the people that don't want to see your face. Right? There are people that don't want to see my face, so I don't go near them. Most of the time. My friend, remember him, Mike Hernandez. What did he do? He says, the only time I see my wife is for Christmas and Thanksgiving. Right? They don't want to see each other. But they have kids. Or at least one child. Alright, the day of Piglet, the virtue of the small. The good thing about being small. This is what I'm going to read to you. I'm going to read to you page 25. The piglet lived in a very grand house in the middle of a beech tree. And the beech tree was in the middle of the forest. And the piglet lived in the middle of the house. Next to his house was a piece of broken board which had Trespassers W on it.
Trespassers
Will be prosecuted or something like that. But the W is the only thing that was showing. Everything else was apparently broken. When Christopher Robin asked the piglet what it meant, he said it was his grandfather's name.
Prosecutors W.
Trespassers W. And had been in the family for a long time. Christopher Robin said you couldn't be called Trespassers W. And Piglet said yes you could, because his grandfather was, and it was short for Trespassers Will, which was short for of Trespassers William. And his and his grandfather had two names in case he lost one. Trespassers after an uncle, and William after Trespassers. And so we are introduced to Piglet in the 3rd chapter of Winnie the Pooh. Piglet, who craves security. He lives in the middle of a house, in the middle of a tree, in the middle of a forest. Piglet, who wants to be somebody, so he invents a grandfather named Trespassers William. Piglet, a squeaky voice with pink cheeks. Piglet, the very small animal. Unlike Pooh, who simply is and does, Piglet agonizes. Oh, how sad. For example, when Piglet and Pooh fell into the gravel pit. Pooh, he went on nervously and came a little closer. Do you think we're in a trap? Pooh hadn't thought about it at all, but now he nodded. For suddenly he remembered how he and Piglet had once made a poo trap for heffalumps, and he guessed what had happened. He and Piglet had fallen into a heffalump trap for poos. That was what it was. "What happens when the heffalump comes?" asked Piglet tremblingly, when he had heard the news. "Perhaps he won't notice you, Piglet," said Pooh encouragingly, "because you're a very small animal." "But he'll notice you, Pooh." "He'll notice me, and I shall notice him," said Pooh, thinking it out. "We'll notice each other for a long time, and then he'll say, 'Ho ho!'" Piglet shivered a little at the thought of that "ho ho," and his ears began to twitch. What will you say?" he asked. Pooh tried to think of something he would say, but the more he thought, the more he felt that there is no real answer to "ho ho," so said by a heffalump, in the sort of voice this heffalump was going to say it in. "I shan't say anything," said Pooh at last. "I shall just hum to myself as if I was waiting for something." "Then perhaps you'll say 'ho ho' again," suggested Piglet anxiously. "He will," said Pooh. Piglet's ears twitched so quickly that he had to lean them against the side of the trap to keep them quiet. "He will say it again," said Pooh, "and I shall go on humming. And that will upset him, because when you say 'ho ho' twice in a gloating sort of way, and the other person only hums, you suddenly find, just as you begin to say it the third time, well, you find what Pooh means to say. What Pooh means to say is, it then isn't ho-ho-ish anymore. At least that's what we think he means." "But then he'll say something else," said Piglet. "That's just it. He'll say, 'What's all this?' And then I shall say, 'And this is a very good idea, Piglet, which I've just thought of.' I shall say, 'It's a trap for a heffalump which I've made, and I'm waiting for the heffalump to fall in.' And I shall go on humming. That will unsettle him." "Pooh," cried Piglet, "you've saved us." "Have I?" said Pooh, not feeling quite sure. But Piglet was quite sure, and his mind ran on, and he saw Pooh and the heffalump talking to each other, and he thought suddenly and a little sadly that it would have been rather nice if it had been Piglet and the heffalump talking so grandly to each other, and not Pooh, much as he loved Pooh, because he really had more brain than Pooh, and the conversation would go better if he and not Pooh were doing one side of it. And it would be comforting afterwards in the evenings to look back on the day when he answered a heffalump, back as bravely as if the heffalump wasn't there. It seemed so easy now. He knew just what he would say. Alright, so now I read a portion of this book, and now it's time to give away the book, right? We read some of it. It's a cute story. Well, my son, when you have problems, cling to God. Cling to God. You are a tree. You are like a tree planted by flowing water. You are like a tree planted by flowing water. Many times I get like Piglet, anxious, so I just say the words, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and I go swimming. Swimming removes my stress. I want you to be a swimmer, alright? When you're an old man like me.
Mom signed me up and signed Brian, Vera signed Robert, Anthony, and Junior up for swimming classes.
Great.
But I already know how to swim. Mom, definitely knows how to swim.
Are you as good as that girl that went under the water and disappeared and appeared at the other side? Well, She could probably teach some lifeguards, right? She is. That was her nickname I gave her, lifeguard. She's a very good swimmer. So you could improve, right? Will it be fun? So enjoy what life gives you. God bless you and those that surround you.